Thanks, Jim. It is a pleasure to be with you folks today. It's always an honor to come to a new place and a new bunch of friends and talk to people in an audience that you've never met before. And a lot of the meeting planners in here I know, but some of you I don't. And it is great to be here. I don't know how you react to stress personally, but when I get a little stressed, I do strange things. And I started out my career as an educator, as a teacher. And I remember that they came to me one day and they said, "Hey, Dale, you're going to be evaluated by some people from the State Department." I said, "Oh, really?" "Yeah, there's going to be 5 people come into the classroom this year, and they're going to look at your teaching technique, your teaching style." And I said, "Really?" They said, "Yeah." And I said, "Are these people that I know?" They said, "No, they're going to be people from all over the state of Tennessee, people that you have never met, people that you have never seen." I said, "Oh, really?" Now, folks, the more times I said, "Oh, really," the more stressed I got. Well, I got this letter from the State Department because I was trying to become a career level 3 teacher. Now, if you don't know what that is in Georgia, if you don't live in outside Tennessee, what that meant was I could get a $7,000 a year raise. Double my salary. And I was fired up. Man, I could hardly wait. And I get this evaluation sheet, and I'm going down the evaluation sheet because I like evaluating myself before somebody else gets the chance to. And I'm looking at the evaluation sheet, and I go, "Yeah, I do that. Yeah, I do that. Yeah. Ooh, I don't do that. I guess I need to start doing that." And what it said on that sheet, ladies and gentlemen, was that when I get up in front of kids, when I get in front of students, that they were expecting me to have those kids raise their hand. Now, folks, I taught high school. That doesn't happen in high school. Now, worse than that, I taught vocational school. It definitely doesn't happen there. So I said, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? This is one of the things they're going to be looking at. I mean, if they X this off, I may not get my $7,000. So I thought, okay, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll form an alliance with my kids. So I go down and I get all my kids in class, and I go, "Now, students, 5 times this year I'm going to be evaluated. 5 times somebody we don't know is going to come in, sit down in this room, and watch me teach. I need your help." You see, I looked at this evaluation sheet, and I found out that they're looking for me to make sure you raise your hands. And here's what we're going to do. I'm not going to change anything about the way I teach, nothing about the way I present. But when I say, "Who knows the answer?" That's your cue. Who knows the answer? Everybody raise their hand. Right hand if you know it, left hand if you don't. Well, I felt pretty good about this. You know, I thought, I've got this all laid out. It's fresh in their mind. I said, now, here's what I'll do. I'll bring them in. They'll sit right up here in the corner. They won't see my face because I'm going to sell them on the fact that when I teach, they need to look at you. They'll buy that because they're teachers, and they'll think that's a good idea. So that first lady came into my class. She came in. She parked herself in the front of the room. I get up in front of my 20 kids, and I'll wink at them, you know, because I wanted to make sure they didn't forget. And I went ahead with my lesson, did everything like I always did. But I got to that portion of the program where I said, "Okay, who wants this question?" Everybody raised their hand. Oh, there were some right hands and some left hands. And I go, man, they remembered. I was so excited. But what really excited me was there was a young man in the back of the room. Had never answered a question in the whole 2 years he'd been in my class. And there he was back there waving that right hand. I said, "Ralph, what do you got back there, buddy?" "Wrong hand." Now, folks, that's stress. You see, I think there's a lot of things we can do about stress. You know, one of them you're doing right now. You're laughing. Oh, man, that's a great